Hi, my name is Chazzy and welcome to my channel, Spirit of Chazzy. Thank you so much for deciding to watch this video. It is now my third video, so it's still the very beginning of this long journey. And for this video, I want to talk about something kind of deep. I want to dive into what parts of us are truly us and what parts of us are shaped by others. So yeah, let's just get into it. I want to start by defining the idea of your true self versus the conditioned self. I feel like your true self is just the core of who you are as a person, outside of the expectations, the fear, the roles that we all play on a day-to-day basis. Your true self is just your natural essence. Your true self is your intuition, your authentic desires, not what you're told or expected to want. The parts of you that feel at peace, the most at peace whenever you're alone, or even when you're not alone, whenever you're doing something that you really enjoy. The version of you that existed before the world put all of these expectations on you. I think that your true self is quiet but peaceful, or no, quiet but powerful. Your true self doesn't need to prove anything to anyone, it just kind of is. Whereas your conditioned self is who you learn to be in order to feel safe or accepted or loved. So the conditioned self, it may be shaped by your upbringing, your culture, your experiences, your trauma, and it lives off of doubt and shame and fear. And it also lives for validation and approval. So it may feel like you, but it's really built off of survival, not truth. I feel like how to really tell the difference between the two is that your true self feels peaceful even when it's uncertain, whereas your conditioned self feels anxious, trying to keep up with the world and people and just everything in general. And your true self moves from love, whereas your conditioned self reacts from fear. So yeah, I'm sure there are many other differences, but those are the main ones that I can personally think of. I know that your conditioned self can also be shaped by family expectations and social media influence as well. I think that a lot of us just kind of carry around all these beliefs and habits and ways of showing up that were never really ours to begin with. Like those beliefs weren't ours, those habits weren't ours, those ways of showing up weren't ours, but we carry them around because of all of the things that have been placed on us. Now I really want to talk about signs that you are living from conditioning and not authenticity. One way I feel like is if you feel disconnected or you don't really know what you want to do in life. That for me is a big one because I have a lot of trouble trying to figure out what I want to do in life. So I hate when people ask me that question, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? Do you want to go to college? What are you going to go to college for? Because the answer is I don't know to every single one of those questions. So I feel like I'm letting that person down or disappointing that person whenever they ask me that question because I never feel like I really have a solid answer. So yeah, if you ever really feel disconnected from everyone and everything, or you don't really know what you want to do in life, that might be why. You may be viewing the world from a third person point of view rather than from a first person perspective, because you're living through the person that you were made to be and not who you really are. I feel like that probably goes for a lot of us, and it's very easy to feel disconnected from everyone because of that. Number two is if you people please or have a fear of disappointing others. I kind of just talked about that, about my fear of disappointing my family a little bit. And even with homeschool, I'm doing homeschool right now because of my social anxiety. I've brought that up in every video thus far. But when it comes to that, last year, whenever school started, I went into in-person school, at first, and I quickly hated it again. And my mood and my mental health started to slowly deteriorate. It just started to decline, and I didn't tell my mom at first because I just had this fear of disappointing her or anybody else in my family, because maybe they had expectations of me being okay now in regards to my social anxiety, and I felt like me saying that I wasn't okay yet would be letting them down in some way, and letting myself down as well, because I wanted to be okay at that point. But I had to realize, my mom also told me this, that growth and healing is a journey. Like, it's going to take time. That's just how it is, and that's okay. Everybody grows at their own pace. Everybody moves at their own speed when it comes to healing, and I just kind of had to realize that. But in the beginning, that fear of just letting them down was high. But yeah, eventually my mom like asked me about it. I think she noticed that I wasn't okay, and then like I immediately started crying and telling her that I really wasn't. And she bought me flowers when I finished my first week of school, so that was just like another thing. Like I was so happy for the flowers, but I was like, dang, like she's proud of me for finishing my first week of school, and like she doesn't know that I'm really like not, she doesn't know that I'm not actually enjoying it at all. So that was another thing where I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to tell her. But yeah, anyways, back to the topic at hand. If you people please a lot, or you have a fear of disappointing others, I think that that's a sign that you're not living from authentically you, and you may be living from who you are expected to be, or who you have been conditioned into being. And number 3 is if your life constantly feels like you're living on autopilot. I know a lot of us feel like that because we're living our life through we're living our life through expectations and roles. We're all playing these different roles of who we feel like we need to be. So obviously it's going to feel like we're living on autopilot on a daily basis when we're going through our life and doing all of these things. And I think it kind of goes back to feeling disconnected from the world and people. You're living through who you were kind of made to be and not who you truly are. So obviously you're naturally going to kind of feel like you're living on autopilot. Now, the 4th and final one is if you're constantly seeking external validation. I think that's enough said on that one. If any of those resonate with you, just know it is okay. You're not alone. And it just means that there's more space for you to come home to yourself. Now, lastly, I want to talk about how to start finding the real you. First up, journaling. I said this in my last video as well, but I'm just going to keep bringing it up in every video because it works. And yeah, journaling helps with so much. Like, it can help with a lot. Oh my gosh, there's this fly in my room. Okay, back to the video. Journaling, it helps with a lot of different things I've noticed. Like, it helped my mom be able to find her inner child. She wrote a book about that. It helped her be able to find her inner child again. And did I want to go to the store with my mom? Yes, but I don't want to like leave, then come back, and then it's dark outside, so I won't be able to record the video. Anyways, journaling is good, works for a lot of things. You should try it. Here are some prompts. Okay, next, sitting alone in nature. Now, I know that like the thought or the idea of sitting alone with your thoughts may sound scary for some people, but trust me, it's very, very beneficial, very rewarding. At least for me personally, I know it has helped a lot. Just being able to sit and spend time alone with yourself can really help you in the process of trying to reconnect with yourself. Just being able to sit alone in silence with no other presence besides yourself. You know, it doesn't even have to be outside, just sitting alone anywhere, but preferably outside in nature. It helps a lot, you know. And you don't even really need to sit there and think of anything deep. You can just sit there and just be, you know. It's just being able to sit in silence, no other outside noises, and just be like with yourself. I feel like is very, very beneficial, and just especially in nature, because you know, the fresh air, the wind, all of that. It's just a lot of positive energy, you know. My next thing is meditation and breath work. Meditation and breath work can help for a lot as well, especially meditation, because you're also just sitting with yourself, and it doesn't have to be in silence. You can listen to music. You can listen to a guided meditation. I recommend starting with that. That's what I started with personally. Like it's hard for me to just close my eyes and just sit in silence. Like I'm sure I could do that, but I prefer music or, you know, a guided meditation. That way is something for that way there's something for you to focus on. And with meditation, I feel like a common misconception is that you have to turn all your thoughts off and just not think of anything. That is not true. I don't think it's even possible to do that. You can think about things, obviously. You can think about whatever you want. But if you notice that thoughts are coming into your head that you don't necessarily want to think about, rather than trying to ignore them, which is just going to make you think about them more, try to acknowledge the thought, think about it, and just let it pass on, let it go. I find that works a lot. And once again, if you need something to focus on, you can try breathing and bringing your attention and your focus to your breathing. And yeah, lastly, listening to inner nudges, like what lights you up versus what drains you. I feel like as we go on like about our life, our day-to-day life, we tend to like ignore things like that or just not really acknowledge it. But try to really focus and acknowledge things like that. Try to acknowledge what really makes you feel good, what energizes you, what do you really like, what makes you happy, and try doing more of that, as long as it's legal. And also notice what really drains you, what takes from your energy, and try to get rid of that, shove that out of your life. And I know that's easier said than done, but try to just notice things like that more often instead of ignoring it. Okay, so yeah, I think that's basically it for this video. That's all that I really wanted to talk about. I hope that you gained some type of insight from this video or learned something new. This video went by kind of fast as well, or at least faster than I thought it would. Right now it's at 24 minutes, so it's like almost as long as my first video, but I know I'm gonna be cutting out a lot. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it or learned something from it. And yeah, so yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Love you all. Peace.